Are there any sycamore trees at Westminster Canterbury? Yes. You should bound to have them. This one's going to be a moth, and it kind of has a cute face. It doesn't sting, and it's going to be a moth, and it's called a sycamore tussock. And it particularly likes sycamore. Some of these caterpillars are very picky eaters, and they only like one plant. Then there are a lot of others that the moths and butterflies lay eggs on a lot of plants. They're generalists. They'll eat about anything. But I'm sure some of you always pull the dandelions out of your yard, and there's some of us that don't. The dandelion is a host plant for a little butterfly, and violets. Violets are the host plant for the fritillary butterfly, which will lay its eggs on the leaves of the violets. So leave your violets alone and don't spray them. None of these will survive with pesticides and herbicides. Any spray is going to kill any egg or caterpillar. This one is not one of my favorites because of its red shoes. It has red feet. It's going to be a moth. It's called an Apatalodes. I don't know why. And it likes weeds and grasses, and it lays its eggs on there, and that's what the caterpillar eats. This one everybody needs to know, because this is the black swallowtail, which is a beautiful butterfly, about the same size as a monarch. And I know you have black swallowtails out in the gardens up here, because I think I saw one when I came last year. A black swallowtail, though, is the one who eats parsley, fennel, rue, carrots, Queen Anne's lace. That's what it eats. And it's a very, very beautiful caterpillar and a very beautiful adult. This is really two. I know it looks like one, but it's really two. Green one and purple one. But there are a lot of these. Do you have any oak trees at Westminster? Some places don't. Oak trees, some places now have a lot of beech, and there are not as many oaks. We need them. We need the oaks. But this is called a variable oak leaf caterpillar, which again is going to be not a butterfly but a moth. All right. Any spice bushes? You have to plant spice bushes here. You just do. Spice bush is a great bush anyway. If you pick off the leaf of the spice bush and crush it, it smells spicy. And the Indians used to use it because there was no refrigeration. The Indians used to use the spice bush leaves and to make some of the food edible. But spice bush is a great native plant, and it's the birds love the red berries. It's a great plant to have. This is the spice bush swallowtail, again, another gorgeous butterfly. And they like sweet spice bush, sassafras, sweet bay, magnolia, and it has a great protection. This is a baby one. And when it's really young, it looks like, I'm not sure which way to say it. I'll say bird dropping instead of what I was going to say. But it does look like a bird dropping, and birds don't want to eat bird droppings. So therefore, it protects the little caterpillar until it molts the second time and it changes color. And then it looks like this, which is a really gorgeous caterpillar. Those little black things are not eyes. Those are fake eyes. They are, again, to protect the caterpillar. In the daytime, this caterpillar curls up in the leaf like that. And then this one's been opened up, the little shelter. But this caterpillar protects itself by looking like a snake. Those look like snake eyes. The mouth and is underneath that head, way under there. And if you touch the head of this caterpillar, 2 orange horns come out of its head. The orange horns are called osmeterium, and they smell bad. They also taste bad. But it's a great protection for the caterpillar, because if something comes along, like a blue jay, or another bird, any bird, chickadee, titmouse, and wants to eat this caterpillar, well, the caterpillar has a little bit of a chance, because it rears its head up like a snake, it pokes out its 2 orange horns, and those eyes look like snake eyes. So it might be able to live another day. It might be able to live long enough to make its chrysalis. I mean, it's chrysalis, it's a butterfly. And there he is peeking out. But his head is really, his mouth and everything are underneath there. Those are fake eyes. This one, any of you men or ladies that were fisher people when you were growing up would maybe use this catalpa caterpillar for bait. It's a catalpa tree caterpillar, and there might be 100 of them on a tree. And the catalpa caterpillars will eat every leaf on the tree, but the tree is not damaged and the tree's leaves will regrow. It's just that it makes terrific bait. This is a young one. They get rather large and juicy, and fish love them, and people used to plant catalpa trees next to their ponds purposely so that they'd have the bait to catch the fish. This one with the little horn, does not sting you. This is going to be a sphinx moth. It's a kind of there are many kinds of sphinx moths. This is going to be one. Now we get to the stingers. Anybody that has gardens needs to watch out for these next caterpillars. Don't kill them, but just watch out for them. This is called a spiny oak slug caterpillar. And it likes oak, willow, it's going to be a moth, and it has a little white circle on it. That little white circle is a parasite. That little white circle, a special tiny little fly or wasp laid an egg in that caterpillar. It came out of the caterpillar and made its little cocoon. And it's going to be the caterpillar will die. But first, it has been a host for this parasite. Very stinging, very small, very stinging. This is called a white flannel moth. It likes locust and redbud, and those little spikes really hurt. All those. It's going to be a little moth. You might have heard of this one, an Io moth. It's a beautiful moth. This is the caterpillar. Very, very stinging. If you touch it, your hand will hurt for a long time. It is a beautiful caterpillar, however, and it is a beautiful moth. Now this is the one that you're bound to have if you have any garden at all. And I have friends that are weeding their gardens and they get this terrible sting and they think they've been bitten by a copperhead or a snake or a copperhead or stung by a certain kind of spider. It's this saddleback caterpillar. You can see why it's called saddleback. Those spines really hurt. It's a generalist, which means you can find it on pawpaw, and you can find it on any other plant, and it'll be your garden, and if you brush up against it, it's going to be sore for a while. And it's a saddleback. It's not going to send you to the hospital, but it will sting you. And I had a friend who had one drop off of a tree onto her neck. And she also had gardens and, weeds without looking, just like we all do, and, got stung by one. Stinging, but this is a great butterfly caterpillar, a question mark. That's the question mark butterfly. The butterfly, it lays its eggs on nettle. Stinging nettle and the kind of nettle that doesn't sting. But the caterpillar stings. This is how you know it's a question mark. There's a comma one that's like that, it just doesn't have a little dot. These are very pretty butterflies, which you will see around here if you have your scientist's eyes on. Another beauty, this is an imperial moth. Pine, oak, maple, linden, walnut. It's a big caterpillar, and it comes in lots of different colors, and it's going to be a beautiful moth. The biggest one in the United States, does not sting, just looks like it, is called a hickory horn devil. It becomes a royal moth, which is a beautiful moth, and it likes persimmon and sweet gum. And also sumac, hickory, pecan, walnut. It doesn't sting, and it's huge. I mean, as an adult caterpillar, it's huge, and it becomes a beautiful moth. I went to the Colonnades Gardens, and these